Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Pokémon UNITE Asia Champions League of the India region. The past 2 days, you've got your finalists for Southeast Asia and East Asia region. It is time for the India region to find their LAN finalists. Before that, my name is Lucifer. Along with me joining is going to be Mridul back on desk. And Mridul, today is going to be the last day of stage 2 to decide who is going to be the second LAN finalist. And right as of now, it can be either Revenant or SATL.
Oh yes, exactly. Like it's been a great journey that we have already decided. One of the competitors will be flying down to Malaysia and qualify from the Indian region. That is Marcos Gaming. Well, today is the battle for the second team. Who is it going to be? Well, the answers are going to be there in a short while. But before that, for more information, you have to go on that link and get all the information about all of the regions that you would want in the English language. Continuing the day, Lucifer, I'm really excited, and let's just get started with it because everything is going to be there in front of us in a meanwhile.
Yeah, we are going to sum up the initial journey, or at least the regional journey as of now today, with the Indian region, concluding the other two regions as well here in the Asia Champions League. And I'm looking forward to now the 6 teams, right, that we'll eventually have after today's matchups. How will they fare against each other in the battle arena? You did catch a glimpse of it. It's going to be on 18th and 19th of March, and I'm looking forward to how it's going to be working out. Quickly jumping to give you a glimpse of the qualified teams and schedule as well very soon. Is going to be a big 15 teams that we saw right now. The only amount of teams from like East Asia and Southeast Asia, we have 2 teams each, but here in the India region we have 3 teams. And one of them in the first match itself that we are going to be seeing, as I mentioned, SATL versus Revenant Mridul. One of them is going to be saying goodbye, and the other will be welcoming themselves a chance to become the champions of the Asia League.
Oh well, exactly. And when you actually talk about Revenant Esports, it was a great battle that we saw in the previous week against God's Reign. So it was a battle worth fighting for, and then SATL 2 fighting in a tiebreaker and actually getting decided for the second position, but still not confirming their second slot. Talking about the tournament format, once again, yes, the first stage was online, league stage, 3 regions, 15 teams. Then again, the second stage we are in right now, online playoff stage, 3 regions and 15 teams. And after that, from each and every region, that is EA, SEA and the Indian region, top 2 teams will be there in the battle arena, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Moving forward to the prize pool of this tournament, in the second stage, we do have a prize pool. For the first stage, it's $5,000. Then for the second position, it's going to be $2,500, and for the third, it's going to be $1,000.
Quickly talking about the finals prize, it's going to be $30,000 for the champions. The team coming up as runner-up is going to be getting $15,000 for themselves. The second runner-up is going to be getting $7,500, and the fourth placed team will be getting $5,000 for themselves. But right now, we are going to be getting at least the idea of who's going to be walking away with $1,000 and who will have a chance to get $2,500 as well as $5,000 respectively in this last day of stage 2 action. I'm pretty sure the viewers who have joined us today know all the rules, tournament formats so far I've seen. No doubts on that. It's going to be a 10-minute match. Best of 3 is what we're going to be seeing. Thea Sky Ruins is where all the action is going to be happening, and the final stretch when the Rayquaza spawns. But before that, it's all the action in the draft mode, right? The pick phase, like you're denying your opponent a Pokemon, is what we are going to be seeing, and how they kind of develop their entire 5 Pokemon fight.
Well, again, half of the strategies gets decided, half of the strategies go in win in the very draft mode time. Again, there would be a ban phase. We have seen some Urshifu bans coming in, and then the Dodrio meta coming into play, Dodrio getting banned. Sometimes or other time we also see the Scyther getting banned. But at least the pick phase also decides what strategy the team would go forward with. And we also had a word with Revenant that they did not want to pick up a particular Pokemon, but they still had to go for it because of the draft mode, and it worked out great for them. So sometimes some things might not go in your favor, but then it's all about what you do in the arena. And we are really excited for the very first match that is going to be between Revenant Esports and SATL. Both of them are very much ready. Let's move forward to the highlights and we'll be right back.
一気に3匹落ち抜いていく。当選棒で固まっているところに再びミュウのソーラービームヘビーボンバーが合わせて、すごいいい形が作れているぞ。そんな中でも視力を尽くしてレッグザへと向かってくるエタニティ。どうだ、
バンギアスと弾きたい。
かなり体力残っている。3枚落ちてる。これもう取られてもいい。カービィバーのヘビーボンバー.
스라크랑 야도란이 이거 겁먹어가지고
아직 괜찮아요.
못 오고 있어요.
자, 포크라는 계속 딜을 넣는데요.
지금 스라크랑 야도란 섀도우 복싱하고 있습니다.
시간 다 들어갑니다. 득점 못하고 있어요.
못 넣고 있어요. 이거 미션 못 넣으면 게임 끝나요.
버텨야 돼요. 3초, 2초, NQ. 자, 막았어요. 일단은 막았습니다.
결과는
한일전 최종 셋. 과연
점수 차이가 와, 너무 쇼.
6점 차입니다. Terjadi dibuka Rayquaza di dalam sana, harus tumbang satu Rayquaza. Siapa yang berhasil mendapatkan ternyata Talon Flame? Oh my god, bahaya sekali. Talon Flame berhasil mencetak beberapa poin lagi di atas tampaknya Chua. Wow, tidak berhasil, dipukul-pukul lagi oleh Macho.
Knockout di situ.
Macho.
Big knockout di sini. HQ juga terus menjaga Dan.
Rayquaza, they're going to try and zone him out here with Yang actually getting pulled in by that slow bro, so it looks like Dev is going to be going down, but Rayquaza isn't out yet. Urshifu is back into the picture. Solo wants to actually get in there to potentially get the steal off, but look at this though, MYS is saying you can't do that, you're going to have to force an eject button out of there. He's trying to charge up, but I don't think he's going to be successful so far. Rayquaza is still healthy. Nightmare though coming in to clean him up. That's going to be him out of the picture again. Blissey trying to run around. They're doing so much to delay. Yeah, they're just delaying this Rayquaza taken now, so they're confident they will finally get it.
Oh well, definitely, and look at that, 20 points added. Oh, they pick up the link. No, it's more than 6, but oh, the 100 points would be added. The last of the seconds, and look at that, it's going so close. Well, back into the battle. More and more players need to be back to the base. No, the Pokemon get to need knocked out. Okay, here comes the very 100 score. Now they're at the lead. Need to maintain that. No other Pokemon to score any of those points. Mr. Mime, you can do it. Zishol, you can do it. Daksh is just standing. He knows he needs to do nothing to actually able to secure. Oh, 5.
Defense buff on the line as well. Renaissance trying to do their best, but look at this though. Nightmare Foxy just coming in from the sidelines. Almost he does get a KO there. Dark Urshifu, no chance at all. He's just going right onto the goal zone. Does quite a lot of damage, and this does give a big opening for his team to just swipe up the Regirock, and they're just going to keep on going. Nightmare Foxy just playing this game like an Olympic gymnast.
He's just basically running around the rows. He's
Oh
still
my
finding
gosh.
one more in the back. 4 KO streak. Is it going to be 5?
Oh my goodness.
Teams have had a hectic run in the previous weeks. They've given it their all, but it has been tough times for one or the other team, and the other team has got a chance to victory, and they've moved forward in the second stage. And two regions, as we mentioned, Mridul, do have their finalists for the LAN, right? Again, the first and the second seeding will be right now is what we are looking forward to in the Indian region. Let's quickly jump into the league table and get an idea of what we can expect, and also let our viewers know what has happened so far. You can see Marcos are reigning on top, and that's why we said as soon as they finished their stage 1, that was the league stage, they qualified into the LAN finals, that is Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The team placed in the second position is SHUL, which their match will be today. Unfortunately, Revenant, because they lost their match, had to be pushed down to the 4th position, and from there they have fought their way back up with both the teams which are in the 5th and the 3rd position, and they have sent them back home without even giving them a chance to move forward in this Asia Champions League. And Revenant are looking forward to doing it again against SHUL, Mridul.
Oh, well, definitely. And when you actually talk about these teams, today is the day that from the very first match, we'll be able to decide who is going to be the second finalist from the Indian region. Marcos, as always, as you said, they are already decided after the first stage. But then, today we do have a final for the second stage, from which the seeding for these two teams will be decided for the Malaysia LAN. Well, yes, the first match between SATUL and Revenant. The match between Revenant and God's Reign was also amazing, and then True Rippers coming into play. So Revenant has fought that battle to be actually still standing in this streak. Again, SATUL going against Revenant. We also saw, a tiebreaker between SATUL and True Rippers. They tied on the same points, but then it was SATUL winning it and gaining their position in the top three.
Brother, one thing is Revenant have not had a great time, right? They've come very
Uh-huh.
close to losses as well, but somehow kept their composure. We did talk about the love and hate story of the Rayquaza. We'll see how it works out
True.
today. Quickly again, giving a glimpse of all the players. A new week might be a new phase for them. From the side of SATUL, it's going to be Cursed, Ghoul, Might, Prod, and Tensai. On Revenant's end, it's going to be Badshah, Blizzard, Crowley, Swifty, and Zshol. And the main player to watch out from Revenant's end is going to be for sure Crowley and Blizzard.
Crowley.
The main reason I'm telling Revenants and Crowley and Blizzard is Crowley will try to go in for a lot of sneaky goals, along with Crowley being a distraction of goaling in another direction. Maybe if Blizzard goes for the top lane, Crowley will be hiding in the bottom lane, waiting for everybody to push up there. But on the other end, the main player to watch out is going to be none other than Might. That is from SATUL, as we're going to be walking into the trivia as well. And you can see what he says, the stronger the opponent, the better I get. And he's proven that time in and time out. My name is All Might, but I'm a die-hard Goku fan. I mean, coming in from the DBZ, I'm also a big fanboy. He might be a Goku fan, I'm a Gohan fan here myself, so I don't might how it feels to be a DBZ fan. It's kind of very interesting of how the entire DBZ scenario has evolved through the time.
Oh, definitely. And when you actually discuss about the players from SATUL, we know that they're famous for the comebacks they always
yes.
make in those games. Like coming back from even losing the games, SATUL has made that possible. But also to talk about Revenant's Swifty, he loves to ride bikes, and dancing on trancing beats is also one of his, keen interests. So again, the Pokemon he plays, I'm quite fond of it because I love Eldegoss. I haven't seen much of the meta coming into play for Eldegoss recently, but Hoopa has been into play. We have seen in the previous week how some brilliant plays, came into play after the Hoopa was actually involved in the meta. Also to talk about Crowley, I think it's definitely that you commit those mistakes again, because even the mistakes landed well for Revenant Esports. Well, let's see. Now is the time. Once again, it's either do or die for both the teams. You do it, you qualify as the second positioning team, or either you are going to be eliminated. Talking about some Pokemon draft stats that we are seeing for the first time throughout these three regions, Urshifu has been picked and has been banned most of the time. For the other Pokemons?
I mean, there's no doubt on that. Urshifu, if available, picked. If not, directly banned. Quickly talking about Sizer as well, you can see 93% coming in. But I think Sizer's bans are very less. It's about the pick rate. But on the other end, new bans we have seen, because people know that long range Solar Beam and quick move reset and then throwing an Electro Ball or maybe a Surf to run away from the opponent is annoying. And then comes in Snorlax with 84.6% draft. He has not been banned a lot. But you know why, right? Because it's not some Pokemon which can completely change the momentum, but has been picked at all times, because we did talk about it, acts as the initiator, banned only in certain times when one team is super strong on it. Talking about Blissey, you can see there's nothing much in terms of losing to Blissey. That's the reason you don't ban it. But again, the healing is the one crucial thing that we see a lot of times. But win rate in terms of picking one Pokemon which has been favoring the teams, which are those? It's right in front of your screens. Wigglytuff, not a lot of picks we've seen. But you can see out of the 6 times, 5 times teams have always managed to win, and that's the reason there is an 83.3% win rate that we are seeing. Cliffable on the other end, after the, I would say, a little buff that we got, we did see everybody picking it up, but then we also saw bans coming in for Cliffable. So I think the win rate is not that high. But Hoopa, after the recent buff that it has gotten, you can see it's climbed up to the 3rd place. If it was like a month ago, before the Asia Champions, the earlier stages of Asia Champions League, Hoopa was nowhere to be seen. Then coming into Urshifu with 62.5%, and last but not the least, Dodrio. You might think is going to be the Pokemon if you get a chance to pick. He will be the one that you'll get your treads to victory, but not the case. We've
Correct.
seen people countering the Dodrio coming in, and that's the reason comes in at the 5th position with just 61%. So, you know, it's like you have a speedster doesn't mean that you still get a chance, and especially having a passive advantage ability to score quicker on Dodrio still doesn't help. It is a quicker way to get sneaky goals in the final stretch to double your scores, but not everybody allows it. Like they always have a guardian around at the jump pad or hiding in the tall grasses, waiting for these cheeky goals to be stopped.
Well, again, when you actually talk about Urshifu, Dodrio, these are the Pokemons. Even if the teams are getting wins, there are more than the losses that they have faced with these Pokemons. Again, when you talk about Wigglytuff, 5 wins and 6 losses. So again, there has been one more loss when a team has either chosen Wigglytuff in their pick or in the draft mode that they're in. Once again, the strategies will land or will not land. That is for the game, that is for the arena. But again, I actually need to talk about the Sizer. Either you actually stay at the Scyther or either you go for the Sizer evolution. So that also, you know, gets involved of how the team actually chooses their strategy to be. But again, really keen to see that if today we are actually going to see that Garchomp that is there above me, or either it's going to be Mr. Mime.
I think it's going to be interesting if we end up seeing Garchomp and Mime coming in. I think Mime did come in the last matchup that we saw from Revenant, and it was a surprise.
Yeah.
But let's see if it will be working today. But before that, it's going to be the ban that we'll be looking forward to, and then talk about the picks. I think we might end up seeing a Tyranitar ban or a Dodrio ban coming in from SATL. Revenant on the other end.
True.
Maybe a healer like Cliffable.
The ban phase gets over and we see an Urshifu ban from the side of Revenant Esports. SATL actually goes in for a Delphox ban. So now Mew is available for sure. No chance left forward. They will be picking in the Ghoul as Mew.
They've denied Crowley the 2 best Pokemon that he's been playing throughout the stage 2 to get to one match after another. That is going to be Delphox. After that, immediately pick Mew, understanding the advantage. But right now, we've seen, right, Swifty, who was acting as the support player here, playing on Hoopa at all times, has actually Swift to it because his move to a different one. That's going to be Snorlax because it was not working out really well. But wait, what am I seeing? Comfy is a new Pokemon, but it has not been seen in the meta at all, and SATL are here to change it. And I think they have a right strategy. Might be that Comfy sits along with Cursed on the Glaceon or with Mew, because your ranged attackers, as long as they're alive and completely healed, right, they can keep doing hectic amount of damage, hefty damage, and the opposition might not be ready.
Ho! SATL is coming with a whole different meta today.
Yeah.
A Buzzwole coming into play, then a Comfy. SATL has decided some or the other lineup for themselves. Okay, we do see a Sylveon, a Tyranitar. Heck of different Pokemons that were not there in the previous week.
Yeah, first 2 choices that we end up seeing from Revenant are like, yes, this is the Pokemon we have seen. Crowley did pick up Sylveon, he did mention, right? It was a miscommunication pick that came through, but we were okay with it, we pulled it off. Now with 2 ranged attackers, that Badsha is also playing on a Gardevoir, it's going to be interesting, but Might on the Buzzwole. He's going to pack a lot of punches, superpowers coming through, and I don't know what he'll be doing. If he goes for Elite's Life, it's going to be hurting them even more. But this Comfy is what I'm looking forward to from Proud and SATL's end on how we'll be working out. You can see entire SATL have just ejects coming through, whereas on the Revenant's end, it is all the portion that we see is X-Speed. And only 1 eject on Crowley. I mean, SATL are looking forward to always walking away or running away from a battle when it's not working in their favor. On the other end, Revenant, they want to be a little bit super speedy. Let's wait and watch.
Right.
This is going to be the first match between SATL and Revenant to decide one step closer to who's going to be qualifying to the LAN finals all the way at Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur.
Oh, well, definitely. And when you actually talk about the Pokemons being chosen, the Tyranitar play actually gets into, you know, action when we are done with the very first 5 minutes, when the evolution happens. Lucifer also going forward with the strategy that SATL has went forward with. Oh, faces a lot of damage. Buzzwole needs to go back. Oh, he will face a cube with that small Pupitar, and definitely Revenant is in for some action. Both of the sides having 6-6 on their score lines, and 3 Pokemons each present on the top lane and the bottom lane. Here you go, some blocks, the screens will be coming in, and once again, the air synergy has been granted to Prod. Well, let's see if he adds that back to the goalpost.
Early fights not great for SATL. They've already received a KO early on. They're looking forward to trying and getting back that advantage, and it's not working out. Might has been KO'd for the second time. Yes, Comfy is playing with Curse on the Mew, but it's a ranged attacker, and then Comfy, how much ever it tries to heal, it's still on the lower levels, therefore it's going to be super tough. And they're trying their best, but in the meantime, Revenant pushing the top lane, have scored 33 in total goals. And Revenant, not a great start, but very controlled.
Controlled one. True. I would agree on those words. A control start coming in for the side of Revenant, but also would like to say that the Glaceon present in the bottom lane would add a lot of damage. Yeah, that's dual of both the range attackers from each and every side, that is SATL and the Revenant Esports. Once again, some more air synergy coming into play. The Snorlax is unstoppable, getting the air synergy for himself. Oh, Zishal needs to go back, gets damaged by Ghoul.
He used XP, hides in the tall grasses and immediately teleports as quick as possible. We'll be back in the base. But on the other end, Might, he's slowly evolving. He's at level 6. Whereas their Mew, right? Cursed is already level 7. It's going to be interesting. But immediately Comfy finally finds a place with none other than Might. So Prod, let's see what magic he can make it happen so that Might can do a lot more damage and find KO. But also another fact, in the next 20 seconds, we're going to be seeing the Reggie spawning, and it's going to be a crucial battle. Once the Reggies are there, it might tell us that the initial game, at least for the 5-minute mark, it will be in Revenant or SATL's favor. Blizzard is getting thrown. He might have been KO'd, but help comes through. Therefore, Might does not find a KO on Revenant's player.
Definitely. And when you actually talk about Comfy coming into action, SATL might actually, surprise Revenant at every other point after a minute is over. Again, we see the action coming in. Zishal once again being tagged out. A lot of HP has been drained. Yeah, goes back to sleep and would be getting the HP back. 33. Once again, the points are more than SATL. The Reggies are also present in the bottom lane. Reggie, waiting to get acquired, or waiting to get into one team's favor. Yes, it would be Revenant taking it, adding 29 points. Sylveon would also get a KO on the Glaceon, and there is the difference we are seeing from Revenant. Revenant is marking up a huge position for themselves in the very first of minutes.
68. They got the bottom. Reggie did use the Unite so early on, so you can understand that the Gardevoir is looking forward to fight with all the power that is there, but Might is super low. He's getting the healing coming in from none other than Prod, but for how long can he survive? Not for too long, will be KO'd, and looks like the top goal zone can be destroyed. Prod is trying to protect it, but there is 17 AOS energy that Swifty has. He's made it 22 right now. And players will also from Revenant's end start switching up to the top lane because there is the Regieleki that they can take. But in the meantime, the fight is still ongoing. At the bottom, they want to take down Tencent. Tencent is super low. Uses Surf Hit, use Amnesia as well to get the heal. But with the Psyshocks coming through and the body slams, there's nothing that they could kind of work with. That's going to be another KO that SAT will receive. Not the greatest of starts we have seen coming in from their end. They're taking a hefty beating and they're unable to get hold or control of any of the lanes.
No way. On the top lane we see some huge action coming in, but still the Regieleki has not come in, and there you see that Tyranitar is now in the battle, getting the Buzzwole once again, going back to the base. SATL are losing out on their most important Pokemons, and at several times. 157. Revenant goes on, and look at Crowley is on fire right now. Okay, so teleport might come in no time, but there we see that SATL is actually here to grab
another Unite.
Of the Regieleki. Oh no, another Unite comes in. This might be a steal of the Regieleki, and it would be Buzzwole from SATL actually going for it.
Might is playing with superpower right now. Zishal is trying to chase him. Tyranitar is going to be here, but Cursed finds a goal in the bottom lane. Zishal is super low. Blizzard might also be taken down, but they find another KO on Might. Might has been numerous times KO'd right now in the top and the bottom lane, and I think they need to do something better over there. But quickly talking about the level, right? You can see everybody from Revenant are in double digits. Ghoul trying to find a KO, and now he's found one, but before that the slow bro goes down. He's looking to taking down Blizzard. Blizzard is running away with the Ancient. He's running right straight to the hands of another Regieleki, but saves himself. Might on the other end, he switched up lanes. He's there to save or help Curse, but in the meantime the Regieleki they got didn't even get a chance to sit in the goal zone of Revenant, and Revenant will be able to destroy that. The Regi on the bottom has spawned, but they need to be quick to take it. But Hoopa as well as the Snorlax are already on the bottom lane, so this fight is inevitable. I think SATL might just lose this game because it's not at all looking close for them. But this Unite being used from the Glaceon looks like something can happen, but the hyperspace hole, they use it and jump right to the bottom lane. Another Unite coming in from Gardevoir. Finds a KO on Might. This is the 4th or the 5th time he's been KO'd constantly. A 2 KO streak is what Baksha is finding. He's helping his teammates to find a lot more. Curse is trying to run away, but he'll not be able to. The Hoopa is going to be destroying him. The top lane goal zone of Revenant gets destroyed. Nothing is working out here. They're trying their best, but somehow some semblance is what SATL are doing as they destroy the top goal zone. But the bottom is complete in control again for Revenant.
Moving forward with the game, we do see that Revenant is still having a lead against SATL, and that too when Revenant has a hate or love story with the Rayquaza. So again, SATL would know it if they are done with the homework against Revenant Esports. Again, let's focus on the Rayquaza. Another Regieleki pops out on the top lane. Yes, definitely would want to grab that. More and more points are also available, but then the Unite moves should be perfectly ready before the Lord Rayquaza arrives at the legendary pit. Once again, some tackles coming in. Zishal wanting to fall back is still having a 1v1 duel with Mike.
Baksha has already used his Unite 3 times. This time again secures another Regi for himself. This is going to be the top Regieleki. Previously they failed, but the goal zone which SATL kind of destroyed, I would say it's not a complete advantage that they got, is the goal zone opposite that SATL also get destroyed by just the Regi sitting in that. Now with the final stretch, this is going to be the last 2 crucial minutes of the game. Rayquaza has spawned. Unites are there from both the ends, but it's about the initial battle. Blizzard was to go for getting a big 88. Gets stopped from Cursed with the Solar Beam. Does not take a hit, but nonetheless, look at Baksha having entire control of the legendary pit. Might is thinking twice because his teammates are not close. As soon as he sees Tensai, he's trying to find a way to chase that Gardevoir, because I think if they find a way to KO the Gardevoir who's at level 14, it can work out. But again, going in for a big score. Blizzard, can he make it happen? Yes, a big 88 comes in. The hit was not enough. Another Unite pops off, but Comfy also with the Unite. Swifty opens up his Unite and they find 2 KOs. Looking forward to a lot more. A 2 KO streak coming in from Baksha. He's not looking for to stop. Make it a 3. It's only one player surviving. The Glaceon, can it do anything? It's only going to look forward to survival. Revenant is trying to go for a quick KO on the Rayquaza. In the meantime, Ghoul is trying to do something, but his fight was none other than with the Snorlax, and that's going to be an easy take of none other than the Rayquaza. They have the shield, they have this round for themselves as well.
Indeed, and look at Team Revenant 339 getting the Rayquaza. This time it was one-sided that was presented by the team of Revenant. Another KO getting added by Gardevoir. A KO streak of 200 points coming back to back into the play, and now they have reached the scoreline of 739. The tackles coming in. Sylveon would actually be able to take down the Buzzwole. More 10 points added by the Tyranitar. More 6 by Zishal. 755 total is what they have reached. SATL being turned back to their base. Revenant meanwhile has touched the mark of 800 after 46 points were also added from the team. Last 3 seconds and it's over. The time's up. The very first game between Revenant Esports and SATL Esports comes to an end, and Revenant Esports, what a wonder they have shown. At last covering all the Regis and actually making themselves in favor of the Lord Rayquaza. Getting everything into play. What a beautiful teamwork Revenant has actually presented themselves with.
They have I would say dominated this first game. Match number 1, Revenant, brilliant show. 11 KO on Bacha, 12 assists coming in from Zshol, 4 KOs, that's 50 along with 7 assists. Talking about Blizzard, he was the impactful damage dealer. Maybe you do not see a lot of KOs on him, but he has 9 assists. That's why I said impactful damage dealer. Crowley on the other end, as we know, he's going to annoy you at all times. He was always using the sweet quiz coming through, so he was able to drain the health as well. Therefore, he also was not going down, kept in range and making sure that as soon as Badshah uses his movesets as well, he's going to do a lot of damage. Badshah, you don't see him crossing the 1 lakh mark right as now in terms of damage, but 92,000 is also a great one. But look at the damage taken from Zshol. 59,000 is something that is going to be interesting because he was the forefront barrier, I would say, breaker, or I would say putting a barrier in between the players of Revenant as well as SATUL. So there was nothing that he could have done, and with Mystical Fire also, that Crowley that moved around, 1 damage, another one he was able to drain health away, whereas SATUL, nothing worked out for them. Smackdown came through superpower, but still it was not enough coming in from Might as well. You saw he was KO'd like 4-5 times, but Prod, I'm not too sure what the thought process was with Comfy coming in. Again, it is the newest addition, but you know it is going to be one of the big healers, but it's an individual Pokemon healer, so it did become tough. Revenant found the Regieleki only once, but they were unable to turn the tides on the top lane. They immediately got KO'd coming in because of the third Unite that Badshah used. His singularity was insane.
And when actually we talk about the points addition done from the side of SATUL, most of them were between 4 to 8 minutes of time period. Some initial good start against Team Revenant, but then they were stuck with the points that they had for like 4 minutes and then coming back to the play, but were not able to add more. And look at the consistent performance of Revenant we talk about. Took a good start, then consistent growth between 2 to 4 minutes to actually have evolution, then amazing bashing coming in from both the sides and actually reaching the 52 mark. Once again getting back to the play, 143, and then Revenant were just at another level. We reached the total of 801 after Revenant actually got a Rayquaza for themselves. Lucifer, actually moving forward with these two teams, we saw some amazing positions from their side. And let's talk about the replay here. Yeah, it was a slow start for the side of Team SATUL, but they were never actually able to, be back in the game.
It was a tough game, Rudul. Coming in for SATUL, they were not ready, and also they made a very varied amount of decisions or choices in the Pokemons that they picked. I mean, Might we have seen, but Might then coming in with Prod on a Comfy, which they did not even think about. Even though the Cliffable was available to pick, they did not go through with it. So it was a kind of confused pick coming through. Maybe they were trying something new or trying to throw Revenant off guard. Maybe they thought maybe Revenant would not be ready, but Revenant, after playing multiple matches in the previous week, right, they understand that they are at the brink of qualifying as well as being pushed out. Quickly looking at the replay to try and get a glimpse and understanding of what SATUL could have maybe done better, or it was just Revenant commanding. I think Badshah leveling up so early, right? Not even giving SATUL players any chance to level up, then having his Unite available at numerous times when SATUL players were coming and unlocking their Unite. He was already on a big level advantage, and I think that is one of the main factors which affected a lot. And on top of it, everybody else at all times helped Badshah, understanding that, oh wait, he has a big level advantage. Whereas on the other end, we did speak about the Glaceon, right, coming through. The Glaceon did not even kind of make value or create space. Ghoul tried his best. His Icicle Spear was damage dealing, but it was not KO yielding. I think that's something that SATUL had to concentrate on Might as well as Ghoul finding multiple KOs, which was a mismatch, at least in this first game. Now there is game 2, but again, this is a best of 3, Mrudul. They've already lost one. If they lose the second one, SATUL are out. Even after the fight that they put up against Marcos, lost, but in the tiebreaker made their way into the second position, it'll all be in vain.
Indeed, and when you talk about the performance from the side of Revenant, that was on another level today.
Yes.
They were well settled up with what Pokemons they have chosen. In the very end, we saw how Sylveon took down the Rayquaza and the teamwork that came into play. Each and every one of them were ready with their evolutions. Then also the Tyranitar from the side of Blizzard.
Yep.
You talked about Blizzard and Crowley. These are the players that we actually need to look out for, and they came out with good results for you.
You saw in the top lane, right? Blizzard, we spoke about him.
Yes.
He always goes to get that score dunk, and he did that. Initially it did, but then he
Correct.
immediately got, I would say, flushed by a curse, so he backed off for a second. And once they understood that the fight of the legendary pet had started, Blizzard went back again to get an 88 score and then reunited with his teammates. So
Yes.
that tells not only him, but also that the confidence that he has in his teammates, that they will survive until he makes it back to the legendary pit. So that was brilliant confidence and decision making coming in from Revenant players, because understand, if they initially started the Rayquaza fight very early, or maybe the fight of 5v5 at the legendary pit very early, who's to say that maybe the Unite connects from Might coming in really well, and then the Unite coming in from the Glaceon.
Yeah.
These two big Unites do a lot of damage, and Revenant players one after another get taken down, especially both their ranged attackers, right? Crowley as well as Badsha, the
Correct.
Gardevoir, as well as Sylveon, if it is out, I think it could have taken a turn on the other direction. Let's see if SAT will have something to answer as we jump to game 2. The draft pick is here.
Oh yes, the draft pick for the very game 2. Yes, we are done with the game number 1. Revenant is already having a lead. Either it's going to be Revenant shutting down this match and actually be the ones qualifying for the Malaysia LAN, or either it's going to be SATUL coming with a comeback. 2 games straight is what they'll want to actually have a victory and be the ones qualifying. Well, now the ban phase is over. We have the bans once again, the same bans coming in. Yes, Revenant will be going in for an Urshifu ban, whereas SATUL goes in for a Delphox ban. Ghoul, straightforward, the same pick. Mew comes in for their side.
One strategy, just deny Revenant's Crowley getting this Delphox or Mew, but it has not worked out for SATUL. Swifty quickly locking that Snorlax in. We did speak about it, right? The block is going to be super good along with the slam coming. It just helps you initiate or start up a fight which you might be completely controlling. Let's look forward to what SATUL are going to be picking. They're again going in with a comfy choice. Okay. With Might this time picking up a Tyranitar. Now this is going to be a good choice. Now again, whenever you have a comfy, right, as a choice of Pokemon, you need to make sure you use that on your heavy hitters such as the Tyranitar, the Machamp coming through, or even your defenders. Snorlax maybe not, because Snorlax has a block or a sleep in between as a secondary move as well. So not both the moves are damage dealing, so you can go in for the other defenders coming through, the Blastoise, Mamoswines as well. But Cursed, he goes in for a Dodrio after a game loss. This is going to be a risky move, and Tensai back on the slow bro. On the other end, Badsha is like, they did not pick up Gardevoir or not ban it, I'm going to pick it up again. And Crowley is like, their Glaceon did not work, my Sylveon worked, it's just another Eve evolution, different stone, and I'm going to make sure that the Glaceon works in my favor. And I did just talk about the Blizzard on Machamp, not Blizzard on Machamp, but Machamp along with Comfy. Blizzard says, I don't need a Comfy, I'll just show them how much I can punch my way through to victory.
Oh yeah, definitely. And Zshol would actually be going in for a switch with Swifty. Swifty once again stays strong with the Hoopa he has always had and hold on. Again, Crowley this time goes in for a, Glaceon, and Machamp is present with the Blizzard. The Blizzard once again is here for a lot of collateral damage. And we begin with the game number 2 of the match 1. Revenant is already at a lead, and let's see who actually becomes the champion of this game and be actually holding a final match against Marcos Gaming.
Who is it going to be? Is it a Revenant or SATUL, the team known for comebacks, make their way from game number 2? If you talk about the mid laners, you can see it's going to be Cursed. He needs to get to the Dodrio because, the speed is going to be super crucial to keep changing lanes. And Prod, I'll be looking forward to which Pokemon he tags along with. For now, I will be thinking the Tyranitar, But as of now, looking at the mid laners who were there, two different Pokemons. One was Crowley and Blizzard. You can see the orange buff was taken from Swifty, whereas the blue buff will be taken from none other than the Eve, which will evolve to the Glaceon. Might is super low. They're trying to heal him. Might is trying to run away with the X speed. He's just a little bit closer to his base. Finally makes his way there, but he's still super low. The same way that Might got a 3 or 4 goal dunked, the same thing happened. Revenant came through, pushed closer and got a 4 dunked.
Indeed, and once again, a slow start for both the sides. Previously, it was 6-6. This time, it's a 4, the ratio of 4 on the scoreline. Again, two Pokemons each present on the bottom lane, and here you go. Revenant would actually face the very first KO from the side of SATUL. And the very first minute is over. We again see, more and 4 air synergy being added. And now it would be Machop, the second Pokemon to be KO'd. So SATL this time is here for some action. And the Larvitar actually would be able to add 11 more points for the team.
Overextension. The Pokemon which was a level better right now gets KO'd. This is the Dodrio. You should never let a Pokemon which is of a higher level difference be KO'd, because you give a lot more experience to level up easier for the opposition, and that's what happened up. You can see everybody is almost level 5 and level 6, whereas the only player was Dodrio who was at level 6, and now immediately comes back and takes a revenge. Cursed is like, you might have taken experience away from me, but I still will have a chance to KO you. He immediately finds the KO on the top lane, and from there again jumps right into the mid lane to find those buffs for himself, running all the way around. Seeing that the wild Pokemon has spawned in Legendary Pit, goes for a head-on wild Pokemon experience gain. But in the meantime, Blizzard wanted to snatch away that chance and take away that experience or the leveling up scenario. Not going to happen. He's still going to be at level 5, whereas Cursed, he's going to be at level 7 on the Dodrio. SATUL have a little bit of at least some amount of level difference through which they can win and make it work. Let's wait and watch if it'll work.
Indeed, now Revenant also have, a lead against Team SATUL. Once again, hiding in the bushes. Might knows what he wants to do at the perfect time. Waiting for the perfect time. We see the action still going on the top lane. Adding more and more of bumping bashes on the side of Z-Shawl, but still getting tagged out. Goes back to the base. Oh, he would be arriving, as there are still 2 Pokemons present in the bottom lane.
Reggie spawn. We can see right now, it's going to be the Machoke. Let's see what it can do. Nothing. Might puts him down. On the other end, bottom lane, Reggie, is it going to be a fight? Snorlax tried to start it. Might along with Curse try to push up, but seeing the Glaceon as well as Swifty, they're all trying to run away. Ghoul is here, can save them. Comfy is trying to heal them as long as possible, and Regieleki also in the meantime doing some side damage. Therefore, Revenant do not find any KO. SATL players will be able to make back it to their bases, but Z-Shawl, having just couple of air synergy, he's like, I'll just keep dunking goals as long as possible, trying to annoy Tensai. And now with Blizzard coming through, Tensai needs to be worried. He comes in with the punch. He's trying to smack him, take him down. The dynamic punch isn't there. Again, a slam comes through, but he uses Amnesia, because of which he will get a chance to heal. He has the surf, trying to push them out, not letting them go, but the block is there, Rudol. You can see, denies any kind of, I would say, push or at least move use so that the goals do not get dunked. But in the meantime, Revenant, the thing that they wanted was the Regieleki. At least if the Regi on the bottom is not in their favor, they get it.
Indeed, now Revenant also have a scoreline of
Unite.
1-1-5. Oh, the Unite comes in, and there you go. Another KO coming in. The Regiice also goes in the favor of Team Revenant. The series of KOs go back to back in the hands of Revenant. Gardevoir adding another KO on the Dodrio. A KO streak from the Machamp. It's a KO streak of 2. 185 scoreline is what Revenant has reached now. 40 more points added by the Gardevoir. And Z-Shawl goes in for more points getting added. Oh, being stopped by Ghoul. That is what he did not want, and definitely would be coming back. Both the Regis coming into the favor of Team Revenant. Again, some more speciality would be there. With the Comfy, we haven't seen much action still in the play from Team SATUL.
Cursed overextensions at all times. He's just getting punished. That Comfy heal is not enough. They need to make sure that the Comfy is with a heavy hitter. Right now, Z-Shawl is trying to take down Tensai. A Solar Beam comes through, does a lot of damage. The Glaceon gets taken down, but Unite coming in from none other than the Snorlax. Z-Shawl trying to make his way away, but 3 players are rushing and gushing to him. But fortunately for him, he's near and his goal zone has not been broken. He'll be back into his Flux, he will also get a hyperspace hole. Gardevoir gets taken down even though the Unite was used. They're going in for heavy bashes. 50 also used the Unite coming through. So I think SATL, this bottom lane push is not going to work. They did get something scored, but it was all in vain because the top lane was being pushed. They have 233 right now in goal. And look at this again, hyperspace hole being used. Back is going to be the Machamp trying to bash all the players out. It's going to be another KO they're going to be finding very soon. The Tyranitar is out. Comfy will also be put down. And look at how quickly they're jumping into the hyperspace hole, getting the full heal, back on track to go for another head-on fight. 3 players still guarding the bottom lane. Gardevoir on the top has actually switched to just look forward if there is anybody taking the Regieleki. Understanding nobody is taking, they've sent Swifty there to keep a hold of it, and they're waiting for the bottom Regi. They'll quickly take the bottom Regi first and then go for the Regieleki, whereas SATL, slowly they're going up, but look at how quickly Revenant jump on the Regirock right now. It's going to be easy takedown. They'll get a boost in defense right as of now, and I think it's going to be a very tough game. SATL, I did not see any kind of control from them. 233 previously, at least, Mrudul, it was a close game.
Yeah,
147, 197, 150 to 200.
Previously, at least it was Revenant actually having a consistent battle with SATL till this very time period. But again, when you actually talk about team SATL right now, they're not coming to the battle indeed. Look at Revenant going for the Unite moves. We also see how this time SATL might add some amount of difference. Yes, Tyranitar would be getting a KO on the Gardevoir, but then again Snorlax trying to beat down the Tyranitar. It's real difficult for them right now. Yes, a KO would come in on the Snorlax.
Oh no,
Goes back to sleep at the right moment. This might be the time that Tyranitar creates a day, but no, it's been late. More 50 seconds remaining for the Tyranitar to be there at the legendary pit.
Now you can see, right, Might having Comfy, he survived. Otherwise, if Comfy would have not been there, he would have been KO'd. This should have been in strategy from the start. But as we did say, after the take the Regirock, they will be quickly switching into the top lane Regieleki. Previously, it was a contest. They tried to deny them. They wanted to take away the bottom lane control. So therefore, Revenant had to go for a head-on bottom lane fight. But right now, as they've found control in the bottom lane, they're going to be quickly taking up the Regieleki. And it's theirs. They have an ally, and now there is only 15 seconds on the clock. It's going to be Rayquaza. Quickly talking about the levels as well here. Not a big level difference because SATL have been able to retaliate. They've taken up a couple of players down, but look at Tensai. He heats up a lot of damage with the Psy Shock coming through, and then the Moonlight to follow it up. But finally, his teammates save him out of the tall grasses. Rayquaza is going to be here, but right at the final stretch, a big 100 gets scored in. The scoreline is 353, but they find a KO on Gardevoir. That's going to be super crucial. SATL might find a way to change the game. They need to be quick right now, but the Glaceon is here. Oh, Dodrio with a Unite, can't find a KO. They're trying to chase it, but Swifty with a Unite of his own takes down the Dodrio. A 2 KO streak to follow up with Blizzard coming in with the Machamp, and nothing is working out. Tyranitar trying to make it work, finds a KO on the Glaceon, but it's going to be a 3 KO streak. The Mew is out. Might not too sure of how long he'll survive. The Comfy is trying to help him out, but his teammates, they need to respawn quick and be there in action. Might is just getting constant healing one after another. He finds a KO on the Hoopa. He's trying to chase away 2 players now. This is not going to be easy. With Blizzard heavy punches coming through, Badshah with his ranged attacks is going to be doing damage, but Blizzard gets KO'd. What is happening? 1 minute on the clock, Murudul, and it's still Rayquaza not looking like it's anybody's game, but SATL have a lot of control in this last fight.
Indeed, look at Team Revenant now. The last 1 minute, it's still Rayquaza not being turned out, but Revenant has a lot of lead where even if they lose out on the Rayquaza, they would still have the time to actually stop down Team SATL from gathering it. Again, the Rayquaza is coming back to its HP. KO's getting back to back on Team SATL. Now, the Slowbro not being available, Mew not being available for some time period, and till the end of it, the Dodrio, the point scorer, is also not going to be there. Only surviving with 2 of those Pokemons. SATL have no chances left, and Revenant have made this possible. 50 goes in for a 24 edition. Oh no, it would be a 54 edition. And with that, they have reached the scoreline of 407. The last 10 seconds remaining. Oh, it would be Mew getting a KO, but no, Glaceon adds a 24 to the scoreline. KO streak still goes on. Hoopa gets a KO on the Slowbro. Machamp adds a 20, and the game's over. The time's up. Revenant wins the second game and actually becomes the second team to qualify for the Malaysia land. Well, we do have a finale remaining. Kudos and congratulations to Team Revenant Esports and SHUL. Well tried. We talked about how Comfy could have come into advantage. It actually came into advantage where we saw Tyranitar and
Yes.
Comfy coming into play and a lot of HP being provided to Might. But again, that was too late. Late evolutions where Revenant were perfect with all the timings and they actually made this possible. 459 to 71 where no Rayquaza was actually acquired.
Might, you can see, he has a lack of damage being dealt. On the other end, Bacha, like previous time, he has just 77,000 this time. And that is because SATL were able to keep Bacha under control. But the main thing that they were unable to do was play together. Cursed, you saw numerous times, even though he was always on a big level difference of at least 2+, he was constantly being taken on. I think something that he needed to take a look at. He had a try attack, which he was doing a lot of damage with. But it was not enough with the jump attack coming through. I think Ghoul was switching up a lot in the move reset that he had, but it was not enough. Blizzard on the cross chop and then the dynamic punch.
Yes.
He was hitting right. And Crowley, he's a man with Nanes written all over him. And he did cause a lot of trouble. Even though they were able to find a couple of KOs on him. But I think Bacha, he was not as hectic as he was there in the game number 1. But you saw Revenant. The main thing that they won right now is going to be keeping the numbers. Might, as you rightly said, he found a lot of chaos in the legendary pit itself. While that Rayquaza fight was about to start, it was not going in. SATL were trying to keep their composure, but Might was the only survivor. If and only if SATL had their numbers up, Revenant would have kind of been taken to game number 3. But SATL didn't have numbers. Revenant kept their numbers up. And then when Tensai got taken down, right, that's where things went south. Revenant knew they had won, and SATL knew they had nothing that they could do with just 30 seconds on the clock.
Well, also visible in the score graph, what we saw, the amount of performance put in by the side of SATL in the earlier period was good. They were actually able to score points, but then their graph was straight like was straight through, straight as a highway. And when you actually talk about Revenant, it was, filled up with a lot of, barriers that were put through by SATL. It was good defense, but then points getting added down. And then the defense in the end was also amazing. The Pokemons which actually went back to base and, they had to keep on waiting for 20 seconds, 30 seconds. There is where Revenant were actually able to waste the time for Team SATL to be actually back in the game. Revenant added points throughout the game, maintained a good score, and then in the end were actually able to secure it with a good lead against Team SATL. Looking forward to the replay. Once again, the start was similar for both of these teams, but then when Revenant takes off, there is no stopping them.
Yeah, I agree with you. That'll be the right word to use. Revenant takes off. You've given them the momentum, you've given them the confidence, you've given them the thought process of what can be done, and they just go ahead with it. They take the fight head on, deal damage, and this bottom lane fight was just insane. The numerous times that players were taking the hyperspace hole, going back to the base, getting the full heal, back again in the fight, Swifty with the Unite, Blizzard punching his way all the way through the players of SATL and taking them down one after another and not giving them any chance was just insane. But I think Might played a hefty game here in the legendary pit, but it was not enough. If he just had his teammates surviving, there could have been a lot more being done. Unfortunate for them. You can see here, SATL on the entire top lane, right? There is nothing that they have. The entire goal zones were destroyed. I think the main factor to break their composure here, Mridul, was Blizzard's 100 goal that came on the top lane as soon as we switched to the final stretch, right? The last 2 minutes of the game. When that happened, I think SATL were taken for a toss. They were like, what just happened? We lost a big 100. If that time the scoreline was still 200, SATL were like, we are in the game. When it hit the 300 mark, I know again, they will not be able to see the scores exactly, but it will tell them that you are losing this battle. They'll get that, I would say, message pop up telling them that they're nowhere close. And that will strike fear in their minds. And I think that's all that happened. SATL were unable to control any kind of fight. Might went for a brilliant, I would say, showman fight over there at the mid. But it was just not enough, Pradul, whatever he did.
Indeed, and when you actually talk about SATL, what went wrong for them, a lot went wrong for them. The choice of, banning down the Delphox, and then, we saw same bans coming into play for 2 games straight. Again, the choices were good. We saw how, impact was created throughout these two games. But then when you talk about Revenant, they were actually able to add more for them. Oh, we do have Crowley for the interview. Let's go straight to the interview and actually ask the questions we have.
Congratulations, Crowley. You guys have finally qualified. It was a big run. But I can see a happy face today, a stress-free face. But I want to ask you, after the congratulations, what was this game? Like, you just dominated your way through.
I mean, they have a pretty stagnant playstyle, and usually we would react to their plays like dump ups. But this time we had Hoopa, so we could be like everywhere at this point.
Yeah.
So I think that messed up with their plays a little bit. I think some of their players were like really overconfident with the draft and all. So I guess we got a freebie. To be honest, I didn't expect it to be this easy. To be honest.
Definitely with your words, it seems that, it was one-sided for your play. But then again, we did see that some or the other way you did change up on that Glaceon. You got that Glaceon in the second game. What was in your mind when you actually picked up in the game number 2?
I mean, they were banning Delphox. So Delphox is like a natural counter to Tyranitar, right? So we needed one hero which could kill Tyranitar. So Delphox is the natural option. If you would look at game 1, they block picked the Glaceon and they were going to pick Titar. So we had to block pick the Titar, and they wanted to cuck our hero pool, but instead they cucked their hero pool. So it was a little bit funny. But yeah, so that was the whole thing. We picked Titar because they block picked the counters, and we chose to play Titar into the counters because our player was confident while playing it. So it was like a whatever scenario.
Yeah, you were like super confident. But I have a last question before we rightly jump in. I want to ask you, Marcos is next up, right? You have already qualified into the LAN right now, but I'm pretty sure you want to be the first seed. What is the thought process for that?
I mean, last time during Worlds, I was first seed. I got placed in a very fuck all bracket, so I think I'm okay if we are second seed. I won't mind too much, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, obviously we'll play to win. And we are also excited to play with Marcos, and I think they're playing really good right now. And let's see how those games go.
All the best, Crowley. Looking forward to you guys not only here getting the first position, but the champions title all the way at LAN in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. Seeing you again in the desk, I hope so. All the best, Crowley, and to your entire team. Thank you again.
Thank you,
Hope
Crowley.
to see you soon. Bye bye.
Yes. Man, you see, right? Once they understood that we got it under control, they're like, we're going to get it. And you need to understand, once you get that confidence, right? You know what to do. You have a confidence on your player coming through, which was not the case on the other end. SATUL, the player had the confidence, but the teammates were not ready. But let's wait and watch. Marcos have seen how Revenant have been hefty. We'll throw it to a short break and see what Marcos counter Revenant or not. See you after the break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Pokemon Unite Asia Champions League of the India region, the final week of Stage 2. We have our finalists. They'll be heading to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Congratulations to both Revenant Esports as well as Marcos Gaming. We'll be heading down to Malaysia very soon and representing the India region, fighting against the Southeast Asia as well as East Asia. Now we have the 6 teams from these 3 regions, 2 each, who will be looking forward to crowning themselves the champions of the Asia Champions League. How and when the battle will be, are you pretty sure for the viewers who've been watching around through the schedule will know, but if you don't know, it's going to be around the 18th and the 19th of March is when you're going to be seeing the action. But right now, it's not done, right? Because there is the seeding match that we have to see. The finals of Stage 2, you can also call it as the India region finals to crown themselves as the champions of the Indian region of Asia Champions League. Whether it's going to be Revenant or Marcos. Revenant we already met. It's going to be Badshah, Blizzard, Crowley, Swifty and Zishal. On the other end, Marcos, they've had I would say a comfortable previous week. Nothing to be worried about. Laid back week, I could say. But I'm not too sure if they laid back, because they also know they have a big tournament up ahead where they'll be representing India as a region and looking forward to grabbing the title. It's going to be Kyurem, Murem, Rex, Snowy and Volk. Right now, quickly we talk about the trivia. We did see players are phenomenal on both the ends, but I really enjoy this seeing. Loves watching anime is what we end up seeing from Badshah, and also loves traveling. I mean, with God of War, it was kind of an anime battle that he was dealing. Multiple Singularity Unites coming through was just phenomenal. But you can see his favorite choice of Pokemon that we are going to be seeing is going to be Mew and Gengar. Whereas he showed us a God of War play. But on the other end, another Mew player is going to be Murem that you are going to be seeing. His trivias are going to be loves to go to gym. And good luck meal is energy drinks. We've seen good luck meals being pizza. We've seen, I think, some Chinese or some kind of buffet. And this is one of the things that we are seeing, that there is a drink is going to be in good luck meal. This is interesting. Like when our players come out with these kind of interesting personal life affairs that we kind of don't have an insight about, not just for us, for the viewers as well, because right, they'll be cheering for them in the chat, but when you get these glimpses of what they also like to do before their game, some of us kind of attribute ourselves to those kind of, I would say, choices when we kind of get into a tournament. But right now it's going to be the final match here in the Indian region to get that first and the second seed. And also not that, it is going to be the prize, Mrudul, 5,000 and then $2,500 respectively for the first and the second place team. But again, before we start this match, I want to say congratulations for SATUL as well, the long run that they've done. They're not going out without anything. For the Indian region, they're going to be the second runner-up and also will be getting $1,000 as a team for them. So congratulations, hoping to see you guys once again. But now it's time for Marcos as well as Revenant. Looking forward to being one of the top teams and the second team. But before that, a small, I would say, thought that Crowley said, we kind of get a bad matchup when we have a top seed, and he's like hoping, irrespective of the seeding, let's just get a better bracket to fight against opponents.
Correct, and wishing all the best to their opponents. They know that Marcos Gaming has presented themselves with with consistent amount of performance throughout the first stage, and they have been a barrier to each and every team when you actually talk about the first stage. Now in the second stage, it is going to be their first match after all of the other teams have played throughout their journey, and let's see, waiting, doing their homework, and getting a break for 2 weeks straight. What is Marcos actually having in its plate?
That is something I'm looking forward to. What have they been cooking? What is new? We saw SATL, they brought a lot of new changes coming through, especially Comfy was not at all a thought Pokemon that we had, and you saw Might was unable to play. We know kind of Buzzwole is insane from him, as well as the Tyranitar coming through, but they also made a lot of choices, not going for a Cliffable when they had Curse coming in with Dodrio at the last moment when it was a do or die game. Now Marcos, previous, if you go to the matchups that we have seen coming in from Revenant and Marcos, they have defeated them. Can they defeat Revenant again this time is something that I'm looking forward to. Revenant, they're going to be getting a chance to ban this time. Previously it was SATUL going for initial bans and first picks. This time they're going to be getting the initial ban as well as the initial pick. Let's see what Revenant make wise use of these advantages.
Well, moving forward with the ban phase of the very first match of the very first game of the second match for the day. Revenant versus Marcos, the Indian region finale, as we say, the seeding match for the Malaysia Kuala Lumpur LAN in the battle arena. The ban phase is over and it is going to be a ban of Urshifu from the side of Marcos.
Delphox quickly being picked up. Now you can see the bans are something that we always think about. There's a healer and then the heavy hitter all-rounder Urshifu. Kurem, he's going to be quickly picking up the Hoopa, seeing its availability, but I want to see Revenant what is going to be their supporter. Rex on the other end, the second choice for Marcos is going to be Snorlax, denying Revenant Snorlax because we did see a Hoopa and a Snorlax play that Revenant just played on and defeated their opposition. Crowley, Mew is available. He's going to pick that up. Zishal is back. Whereas Tensai, his opponent on previous game, was picking up Slowbro. He's like, it's available now. I'll show how the Slowbro is going to be used and played well with.
Oh, definitely. And when Marcos, you actually talk about, it might be a Tyranitar that they come up with or not. Okay, they are going in for a Snowy and Meruem goes in for a Machamp. Blizzard, meanwhile, okay, wait for it. Is he actually going to go for that? Oh.
Come on, yes.
Yeah, he is.
I want to see
going
this.
To go for the Zerora. OMG. Still not confirmed.
Blizzard.
Still not confirmed.
Please. You know, I still remember Zerora is one of those Pokemons that you would not find to get, but you have to earn your way to get Zerora. And once I was like, when I saw all my friends having it, because I had missed out that time period for a week or something when Zerora was kind of available, where you had to earn your way to get Zerora, and I was feeling bad. All the people that I knew and I played with had Zerora except me, and I fought my way through, grinded, and then finally got Zerora, and I was just maining Zerora for some time. But all that talks, we'll do it for some time later. But Walk with the last Pokemon choice on none other than Sylveon, which were great for Crowley, and he's right now fighting against Crowley. Let's see how it works out. But we again see a Comfy. What are your thoughts on this, Mridul? Comfy back in action, but this time Revenant themselves pick it up.
Crowley did not reveal the strategy for sure. They had it in their bags, and right now Comfy comes up for the side of Swifty. Well, again, would be adding a lot with the Tyranitar. That is what we saw from the side of SATUL, right? And on the other side from Marcos Gaming. Well, let's see if Dodrio still in the meta adds a lot of points throughout the match. We start with the very first game.
If you talk about mid lane, it is supposed to be the ranged attackers. But looks like on the other end, it's going to be the all-rounder, the little Machop. Looking forward to evolving very soon and becoming the Machamp so that can get in all the heavy hits. I think Marcos, that is what they're going in for. Heavy hits coming through. Snowy goes for a quick 3-goal and a quick 4-goal, trying to back off. Kurem is going to be helping him as he comes in range and tries to deny him any kind of chances of finding a KO. Walk on the other end, he's still not evolved. He's still going to be a little puny Eve. Whereas Bacha, if you talk about it, he's already level 4, gets scores dunked, and you can see Revenant with 12 points.
Indeed, and look at, Mew, how he is still creating a lot of difference for the team. So, good work done by the side of Crowley to be actually sticking on to the pick of Mew. But then, we also see that a Slowbro has popped up in this very game. Again, right now is at the Slowpoke evolution. And there you go, 17 points being added for Revenant. Again, that would be a KO to the... There you go, 6 more points added, 44. Marcos is up for a good streak maintenance.
Walk on the bottom lane is the one who's going to be controlling it, but being a ranged attacker, he can't stop anything and everything. He was hit with a defender as well as a ranged attacker, so the goals did go through. But look at what is happening. Players from the top lane quickly run to the bottom. Zishal is super low, will be taken down. Bacha wanted to help. The Electro Ball does damage to 2 players, but KO on the top lane. Mew does find one, but immediately did get exchanged. No, it's only the Snorlax to go out, but because it's the early stages, the Snorlax will be back again after it respawns. But in the meantime, Bacha is going for a goal of 12. He should be able to get it. There is a Snorlax who will be making its way, but not in the right time. In the meantime, top lane is getting full in gold stunked. Volk is super low. He's trying to run away. Swifty is trying to chase him. There's going to be the Scald as well. Burning hot water, but Murim immediately jumps in. Boosted attack trying to go in. And yes, pushes back all the players from Revenant who are trying to get to the mid lane and trying to find a KO.
Indeed, and looking forward to the side of Marcos. It's going to be Revenant once again taking the lead. So the very first 3 minutes until and unless we reach the position of Regis, we are actually going to see a KO coming in from the Sylveon. Marcos Gaming having the time to actually secure more and more points, would be adding a 26 score from Sylveon, and now would be the first ones to reach the century.
With just 2-minute mark, the top goal zone has been destroyed. Marcos, what a game that they're playing. Bottom lane, they tried to deny the wild Pokemon experience to level up. Not to a great extent, but right now Blizzard trying to fight out with a level 7 Volk. Volk survives, he moves back. Regis have spawned as we have finished the first 3 minutes of the game. It's going to be a big bottom lane fight coming through. Volk on the other end, he's trying to take away these mid lane buffs, which Revenant might just have. Big solar beam. It's a pretty bad hit that both players, Kyurem and Rex, receive. But they're back again, but the telekinesis hits again an electro ball and then a burning hot water. So he backs off a little, but in the meantime, Snowy is stuck in between 3 players and it's going to be Scald this time finally to put an end. In the meantime, on the top goal zone, Blizzard gets a big 25, but does not get... Oh wait, I think he's going to be getting KO'd. He's trying to just buy time, making sure that Volk doesn't go on the bottom lane. But what is happening? Blizzard is just standing still, but finally gets taken down. That's going to be a KO. On the other end, it's already a level 10 Machamp that we are seeing. It's going to be unstoppable right now. Zishal is trying to deny the Regi Ice. It looks like it's not going to be far. Unite coming in. Fireworks is something that Revenant have used. Will they be finding the KO? No. It's going to be Murem itself to confirm the Regi Ice in their favor. And the Delphox immediately gets KO'd. 112 to 99. Not a big score difference, but Volk alone takes Regi Aliki. There's going to be an added ally. 6 players as Marcos right now push to the 5 minutes.
Looking forward to it. 112 against the Revenant, but still, you know, this tackle battle goes on. The equal amount of duels happening between both of them. Look at that. It is going to be Volk actually taking a bit amount of damage, and then Kyurem stuck at the mid lane. Oh, needs help. In the bottom lane, it's going to be Bacha be back with the amazing, you know, assistance once again getting provided by the Comfy, and you know, getting sorted up with the HP. Meruem takes a lot of damage. Oh, comes back.
Oh no.
And straight forward KO'd. It was only required for the 3rd time that it would be Mew getting a triple KO shriek. More points added. Revenant would still be touching and equalizing on the scoreline.
Too many ranged attackers. Volk is stuck in a crunch. If he does not run away, he will be KO'd. They're trying to chase him. Tyranitar with the Ancient as well, but then they decided, let's not do it. Their players might have respawned and we might be instantly KO'd. They back off. Again, there will be initial fights to just find the respawn Regis. Rex trying to buy time. Sneakily is what the Machamp is making its way to the top lane. Level 12 versus level 10. Yes, they do have a Comfy, but can that Comfy really work? Rex, a brilliant block coming in. He's pushing right into the wall. Tyranitar does not have anywhere to run, and immediately Dodri also swoops in. They could do nothing over there, even though they had a Comfy, but it's of no use. And look at the Snowy, the confidence. He pushes through the Flux and then just takes down the Delphox. The Unite came through, but it's of no use. They do not get the goals dunked yet because Zishal is back. The Slowbro is going to be trying to deny, and on the other end with the Ancient is Blizzard running right to them. But bottom lane Kyurem with the Unite has already started up the fight. Players from the top lane has used the hyperspace hole and teleported. Badsha again trying to make something work, and he does find a KO.
The Hoopa!
Hoopa is out. Wait, Machamp is also out. Big KO.
No. Not gonna stop so easily. Mew getting 2 KOs back to back, and once again the Pokemons who were so damaging to the side of Revenant. Now Tyranitar adds a Regi Ice for the team. Revenant, it is the moment where they would be actually going in for the goal post. Gets a KO on the Snorlax. Zishal is moving forward. The Dodri is also KO'd. The time has been bought. And let's move forward to the goal post on the top lane. Yes, 4 of them are going for it. Hoopa is present in between while the Machamp also arrives. All of them are back, but still would be needing the Unite moves for themselves. Yes, goes in for a goal. Delphox acquires Hoopa as a KO.
That's the third Fireworks Unite coming through. Mew Badsha is insane along with Delphox helping him out. A 2 KO streak, might be a third to follow up as well. Blizzard from the back, Mutem from the backline trying to do something, but it's not working out. It's a 3 KO streak. It's not something that Crowley wants to stop at all. He's looking forward to a lot more KO. Blizzard is chasing Walk right now. I don't think Walk will be able to survive for longer, but that Ancient was not enough in the flux, therefore Walk somehow tried to survive. In the meantime, Snowy again swoops in. Comfy immediately tags along with that Tyranitar and will be trying to back off. There's 20 seconds to go. Nobody is trying to go for the Regieliki fight, but they're going for a top lane fight. A big solar beam and it does find damage along with Blizzard doing more damage. They, I think, found a KO on a player. Not too sure about it. But this fight is insane. This matchup has been super close. Walk finds a big 35 on the bottom lane and does get the goal zone destroyed as well. Zishal is coming in. He's already towards the legendary pit. Walk has an idea about it. We'll look at this Blizzard hiding in the tall grasses. Oh no, Blizzard. He might just find a KO. And yes, actually they do not take down the Dodrio. They take down the Hoopa. That was a big one. Losing a Hoopa. They don't have any more hyperspace holds. They not go for quick heals coming through. It's just going south right now. Wait, they actually make it work with a Unite on Machamp.
Still maintaining this crunchy close in battle, the Unite move of Machamp would actually be able to acquire 2 of those Pokemons again. Bacha is barely on that HP, just one single move, and Bacha would be going back to the base. Yes, being sent back to the base. One more KO comes in and Mew needs to buy some more time. Again, they are pretty much far away. The Rayquaza is still available for Team Revenant, but we know the hate story that still goes on with the Rayquaza. Marcos stands strong at the legendary pit, waiting for the Mew to arrive, while Meruem adds a big 100 for the team. Here you go, 360 to 382. Snowy also adding the amount of Eos energy collected. Now it's either going to be a steal from Revenant for the Rayquaza, or either it's Marcos winning the first game into their half.
Oh, Rayquaza might just be taken down, and it is Marcos who take it. Revenant and Marcos both initiate the Rayquaza fight, but it is going to be Marcos who end it. They have the Rayquaza shield. They have KO'd all the players from Revenant, and there's nothing that they can do.
Easy addition.
Miriam has been insane in this entire game. He found another 2 KO streak to end it all for Revenant here in the game 1 of match number 2. If not for Miriam, right, even in that legendary pit mid lane fight, finding a 2 KO streak, if that did not happen even after them losing a Hoopa, this could have been Revenant's game to bring it back.
Indeed, it was so close till the last of the minutes. Revenant Esports, but yeah, it comes to an end. Marcos Gaming securing 700 to 800 points in a single game where it was crunchy close till the last minute. Once again, a huge congratulations to Marcos for winning the game number 1. And in the end, it went, like for a single side. Look at that. Meruem, Volk, Snowy adding huge amount of points, and even Rex having 137 points secured for the team. Meruem here with 11 knockouts added a lot of KO streaks for the team. But on the other side, you do have Bacha. Well, this time, if Bacha would not have been cured for 2 or 3 times straight in the end, final time period, it would have been Team Revenant, changing the whole strata of this game. Once again, Marcos in this game added a lot of damage from Volk. 71,000 of damage was added by Volk. On the other side, when you talk about Mew, that is Bacha, 106,000, that is 1 lakh plus of damage added by Bacha.
Finally, we do see actually a good game coming in with Comfy on the sides. You could see, right, as you mentioned, Bacha and Crowley were playing really good. Bacha, if he was allowed to find a lot more chaos, he would have been he would have been the main performer or the player of the game in this game number 1 of match number 2.
Yes.
But they did not allow that, because in the early 5 minutes of the game, they understood how much damage Bacha was dealing on the Mew, finding chaos as well, because on the bottom lane, at least he was always finding one or the other KO, one after another, and they were just doing damage. On the other end, Marcos understood that this was the case, and they immediately tried to jump on their ranged attackers, take them down. Tyranitar was there, and along with the Tyranitar, they did combine the Comfy, which looked good, but it was just not enough. Revenant, a great try coming in, at least on game number 1, but again, this is a best of 3. They do still have a chance to become the first seed here in the stage 2. In the goals, as you can see here, it was a Revenant, yes, getting a couple of goals here and there, but Marcos, their graph as well as their entire timeline tells you, right? Everybody was putting some goals, one out of the other, but Miriam, this man, right, concentrated on gaining experience and leveling up. Once he understood that the Mew was the one who was doing damage and level better than him, he said, okay, that's enough. I'll become a level better and make sure I'll be jumping in from directions that they will not be ready and will be surprised at all times. And that's the reason Marcos pull it back.
Yeah. Marcos pull it back in a huge way, and look at them being consistent throughout the game and actually adding, even in the difficult of times where your Pokemons are busy evoluting. The Dodrio was there and, performed at an exceptional level. Once again, proving how even with the Doduo, you can still perform as a Dodrio.
Quick replay. Mridul, here you can see that initial stages Marcos good in control, but then came in none other than the Mew, Badshah, found chaos one after another. Here Snowy also, need to talk about him that we never saw him overextending. He was pushing it when his teammates were in close ranges, and then immediately, even if he goes down, his teammates are pull it back in. But this one, bottom lane is what I've been talking about. Badshah was just insane, too good. And it worked out really, really well. And I would say as long as Badshah was in the bottom lane and dealing a lot more damage and finding chaos, right? It was always Comfy with Badshah. But then it was Comfy who switched on with the Tyranitar. But you can see here, having the confidence, understanding that the player who is opposing from their flux sense or towards the goal zones is level lower, push them out of it. Coming in with a drill pack, just push them out and instant KO. That's how well they played. But Crowley coming in, swooped up, played really, really well. Walk was also just annoying. Even though he was range attacker, he never feared that it's okay to give away his life over there. Got KO'd, but again got back into the game as soon as he respawned.
Indeed, and when you talk about the side of Marcos, look at that. It was so close, even in the last 2 minutes. But then when you talk about Mew getting KO'd 2 or 3 times, and then Tyranitar coming into play and taking down the Dodrio, this was the time where Revenant could have actually, got in for themselves. But then the 2 of the Pokemons which are actually available also got KO'd. All of the 5 Pokemons back in the base. Nothing was left in the side of Team Revenant to play for, and that is how it was Marcos getting that win with a huge lead. No Pokemon present, all the points secured in the goal post. With that, the very first game is over, but again, we also have the game 2 at around the corner. This is the Indian stage finale where both of the teams have already qualified for the Malaysia Kuala Lumpur LAN in the battle arena on 18th and 19th of March. But again, the seeds are yet to be decided, and that is going to be decided with this match. The first game is over. It's a 1-0, and where Team Marcos is right now leading.
Marcos is, can they finish it off? Because right now they don't want to give Revenant a chance. I mean, who knows? Maybe in the grand finals we end up seeing Revenant and Marcos itself. Not yet sure, but we are jumping right into game number 2. The last fight which we ended up seeing around the legendary pit was just insane. There was just too much of chaos happening to even understand where it went wrong, what went right. But right now, let's see what goes right for Revenant. Do they still keep that Comfy? It is good, but not enough. Marcos on the other end, their picks were more than enough for them to understand how they wanted to play. They had the Dodrio, Volk had Sylveon, which we did have a little bit of questions coming in, but Miriam stepped up on the Machamp. Quickly talking about the bans, Revenant go for a Hoopa ban, denying Marcos the chance of going back to their bases, because Marcos did that a lot of times. When they understood, oh, there's a hefty bottom lane push, they used that hyperspace hole, jumped to the bottom lane, and once they understood it's not going in the favor, jumped back to the base, then back again. So it's not going to be there here, but Revenant, right out of the gate, it's going to be a cliffable, which I've missed for a long time, Mridul.
Indeed, discussing of how Hoopa creates a lot of space, by the amount of distance it can cover in a very short period of time. Definitely, Revenant would be banning it for the other side. And as you see that if Hoopa has been banned for the other side, definitely the picks would be different for Team Revenant too. Hurem actually would want to go for a pick of Blissey, whereas Swifty has already picked on that Cliffable. Yes, a Dodrio would be constant on the side of Team Marcos, and a Buzzwall once again might be picked up from Blizzard.
Almost similar choices that we end up seeing from Marcos. Rex is not playing with Snorlax. That's the difference. He's going on Slowbro. On the other end, Revenant. Wait. Zishal goes for a Snorlax and a Talonflame. It's the first time that we are going to be seeing a Talonflame in Pokemon UNITE Asia Champions League for the India region. Not too sure what is cooking in, but Walk, what does he play? He's going in for a Venusaur himself, or a Sylveon, or a Gardevoir. You have to just wait and watch, brother.
Yeah, just wait and watch. These players are actually in for some different strategies. And yeah, on the side of Miriam, it would be a Delphox that he goes in for. Might be thinking that it would be a Tyranitar that can come in from the side of Revenant, but no, they had something else already ready for themselves. Blizzard goes in for a Talonflame. Quite excited to see what Talonflame brings in to the table. But Crowley with the Glaceon, definitely a great choice.
Both the sides don't have an all-rounder at all. Speedster on both the ends, which is a rare sight. 2 ranged attackers on both the ends. 1 supporter and 1 defender. I'm looking forward to how this game is actually going to play in. Is it going to be Marcos closing it off or Revenant coming back in? Because again, Revenant with Talonflame coming in, using Fly and then immediately going smack down to their opponents from all the way Sky to just dropping down like a missile, can actually find a lot of chaos, something that Marcos need to be ready for or run away from.
Indeed, and look at that, Marcos Gaming going against Team Revenant, and we begin with the very second battle of the second match. Here you go, the first goal pops in with the Dodio. 2 points have already been added, whereas Revenant adds it in with the Mew.
Revenant concentrating on early goals. On the other end, Marcos, they are looking forward to getting the buff themselves, but the Snorlax already pushed up mid lane trying to annoy. In the meantime, Revenant actually receive a KO. The little teeny tiny bird is out, not the fully evolved Talonflame. Zishal is back, gets help from Badshah, so no KO at least on the bottom lane. Glaceon on the other end has fully evolved and immediately finds one on Dodio, and this is why we talk about you need to evolve. Blissey might just be KO'd, but this little Chansey is trying to find a way or a chance to survive. There are 3 players pushing up, no KOs as of now, it's just more and more goals that Revenant concentrate on.
Look at that, Revenant, 45 points is what they'll be securing in the first 2 minutes. So Revenant is here for an early pick. Okay. Moving forward, Revenant having 45 points with them. The KO streak also goes in. So Revenant looks quite okay with the picks that they have got. Dodio might be adding 1 or 2 goal sets. Badshah is once again back with the range attack that he is always famous for. Another KO pops in, and a KO streak is also going to happen for that Glaceon.
I think this little Chansey needs to evolve, needs to become a Blissey as of now. It was just given the, I would say, responsibility of guarding the top lane, but now as the Chansey was heading to the bottom lane, sees the Glaceon, which is stealing the orange and purple buffs. Glaceon might just finish it all, but this is what I was talking about. Blizzard flies sky high and drops like a missile. And look at this Revenant, everybody on top and bottom, they just find KOs, get scores dunked one after another, and looking forward to first goal zone being destroyed. 14 on the bottom, and I think on the top there should be just mere 3 or 4.
Well, look at that. It continues. 145 points from the side of Revenant, and the streak goes on, and looks like this is going one-sided for the side of Revenant. Look at that. Once again, 70 seconds remaining. The Reggies would be here in no time, and there you go. Action-packed moves coming in on the bottom lane. Look at that. A KO streak. Oh, okay, some HP getting lost on both of the sides. Zishal once again standing straight as the defender it would have been.
Talonflame is in the bottom lane. As you mentioned, Regis have spawned. Revenant and Marcos are going to head on fight for this. But Snowy in the meantime, he's alone decided to steal away the orange and purple buffs that we were seeing Crowley doing. Fight has started. Regice is just surviving with 20% health. A big solar beam and Bacha confirms. Now Rex is being chased. Curem is hiding the tall grasses and moving towards the goal zone. In the meantime, Merriam, he gets his goal zone dunked on the bottom and the top, and the goal zone actually gets destroyed on the end of Marcos. They lose a base. Let's hope they do not lose on the top as well, because they have started the Regialiki fight. A little bit late was Revenant's player. The Cliffable was there, but again Talonflame with the Unite tried to find a KO, but he hit none other than Rex on the slow bro. Otherwise, if you would have hit on the Dodrio, it would have been an instant KO. Delphox gets taken down, so there are players who are losing their life one after another. Marcos need to look forward to that they keep their players up, because the difference is right now not working in their favor. 181 to 116, It's Revenant who's looking better.
Indeed, and look at that. Marco still trying to actually make a comeback and maintain that equalizer on this very chart. But again, when you talk about Revenant coming into play, yes, they are coming in pairs and actually being more submissive to the side of Marcos. Oh no, here you go, the QRM has arrived, and once again would be adding a lot of importance for what the team does. Okay, 13 more points added, but the Talonflame gets the KO on Dodrio.
Fight near the legendary pit. Unite was used but does not find any value. They do find one on Sylveon. Delphox to save the day here with the fireworks, but still Cliffable pushed a little bit too closer. On the other end from the bottom lane, Badshah with a big solar beam, 2 KO streak, Electro Ball as well. Rex looking super low, Slam coming through. He is going to be pushed to the wall. Somehow he tries to run away, but Rex is caught in the crosshairs. Another Slam coming through. He's trying to use telekinesis and buy time.
Sylveon.
Crowley tried to survive but gets taken down. The players from Marcos have respawned and now they're hitting the shots against Revenant, trying to take them down one after another.
Well, again, the unit moves are
Oh,
also
the
going to be
solar
available
beam.
for them, but no, the Talonflame once again coming into the play, and the solar beam would obviously add a lot of, keen advantage that the Revenant would need. But again, Marcos Gaming strike back at the right moment, and now the Talonflame is not present. It is the time that Marcos actually get back to what they can get from this time period. Okay, the Talonflame is going to get back, and look at that, how much it has evolved till now. It's going to be Delphox getting that Reggie steal for the team, and with 50 points available, might be able to add 100, whereas they would be able to top up the similar scoreline.
Snowy on level 12 is causing a lot of problems and is catching the players of Revenant very off guard. They're not even ready for what's happening. Right now, understanding the Reggie has spawned on the top, they're thinking about taking the Reggie. Revenant, can they take it? Talonflame was right at the mid, taking away the wild Pokemons, using the fly, but look at what Snowy is doing. He's sneaking his way to the bottom lane to get this 36 dunk. But the Talonflame as well as Glacian is going to be there. Blizzard gets a glimpse of it, but Snowy is going in head-on hits. Another fly coming through, and that hit. This is what I talked about. The Blizzard being dropped with the Glacian helping out. Sylveon uses the Unite, trying to deal a KO on any of the players of Revenant, but Zishal, he's a defender, can take up all of the damage. It was not enough. But in the meantime, Curem comes out with the fireworks again, but the Slam is going to be there. And the Talonflame swoops in. Marcos, the thought process that they had is not working out, but still Delphox finds a KO on one, making it another, eliminates the Talonflame as well, and backs off.
Okay. Still, it is going to be Marcos present at the top lane. Swifty, right timing. Timing would be perfect by the side of Swifty, wanting to stop the players of Marcos. Not able to add the points. It is going to be the chance of Marcos to acquire the Rayquaza and actually be back in the game. They're not much far from Team Revenant, and it can be a comeback where they would win it by a 2-0.
I don't know why they've gone of the Regialiki on top. I think they're thinking in the next 13 seconds, like barely having 10 seconds, they want to destroy the Reggie on the bottom. If they just took the Regialiki on the top, right, they would have gotten a little more experience, which would have been better here, Mridul, for them. Let's see, Marcos, will they be able to convert? Points right now is 232 to 166. Revenant still in lead. Marcos are actually fighting with the Regialiki on top after it has become an ally for Revenant. It's going to be the final stretch. Rayquaza has appeared. It is not the fight that Revenant directly start on Regielike. It is the fight that is started on the players of Marcos. A big solar beam connects with Rex. Thankfully, not the ranged attackers. Rex will use Amnesia. Will recover the full health.
Goes in for a good consistent growth. Okay, Dodrio goes in for the Unite move, whereas 3 of the Pokemons are still present with the Unite move to be used. Oh no, the Slowbro will get KO'd. Dodrio gets KO'd. 2 of the Pokemon sent back to the base, where the Rayquaza has still not been acquired. Okay, Volk with Meruem would be adding a lot of damage, but no, the Delphox needs to go back.
Volk and Rex, the only 2
Blissey
survivors.
needs to go back.
Has Sweet Kiss, but he's getting hit from all directions. 3 players. He might be able to find a KO on Crowley, but immediately gets taken down. A good fight, a deadly one coming through, but he's bought enough time. Marcos might stand a chance, but they need to go for a head-on fight together. Snowy is here. Gravity pushes him off from his teammates. Curem is also back near the Legendary Pit, throwing egg bombs, but a 18 gets scored and he's just backing off. Blizzard on the other end used Fly, trying to find a KO on Snowy. Does not work out. 272 to 184. Curem stuck in the gravity. It looks like in terms of the control that we see on Marcos, they don't have a lot. It is just Snowy who's given the responsibility of going in for these cheeky scores. Has pushed it to 234. The only difference right now, Mridul, is just 40 goals. It's not looking like it is possible, but with 20 seconds to go, the fireworks has been started. Rayquaza is just surviving with 40% of the health, and it is none other than Revenant to close this Rayquaza in their favor. You saw already Swifty was going in for a score of around 90. With that, Rayquaza is always going to be getting that score without any worries. And that's going to be another 1 victory at least that Revenant get in their favor. Marcos right now, from a situation where they could have closed Mridul, will try to fight for survival for the first place to get that $5,000.
Yeah, and look at that. Revenant against Team Marcos. This time it would be Revenant taking down the Rayquaza. A great game, a consistent growth, and well tackled by Marcos, I would say.
Blizzard played really well.
Yeah, Blizzard actually played real well in this game. Look at that, 239 points secured in the goal post. Then 8 knockouts coming in, 6 assists for the team. Zishol being the perfect defender a team can get. What a beautiful growth throughout the game. 11 assists added. Then Crowley with the damage, with the assists, with the knockouts. Revenant this time was accurate with what they had picked up upon. Again, a pick of a Slowbro, then also having a Blissey. I was not, too sure about it. Yes, Snowy would add a lot of points for you throughout the game. But then again, when tackled, Dodrio was getting KO'd a lot of times. So you have to minimize the amount of KOs a team gets.
There was one situation where Snowy, after getting KO'd after Rayquaza was spawning, there could have been a situation that Marcos could have actually knocked out 3 players from Revenant's end. If not for Zishol coming out with his Unite and going in for the power nap right at the edge.
Yes.
That blocked off, and immediately Blizzard from the backlines with the Fly swooped from the skies, roaring down, and he just started finding the KO. If that did not happen, Miriam on that Delphox could have found value, because most of the players, Bacha was looking super low, the Talonflame Blizzard was almost around 50% of the health. If the range attacker moves connected along with Volk, you saw Volk survived. Volk before going down took down Crowley, and then it was an immediate trade that we ended up seeing. So if not for that Unite, maybe Marcos could have closed it all off, but Revenant kept their game. They were always concentrating on the goals and also taking up the objectives, which Marcos should have concentrated on, especially giving up the top Regieleki. I think was a risky gamble that they did, and which failed eventually.
Eventually giving up on even a single thing which could change the pace of the game. Look at that, maintain the whole amount of lead. Yes, they were behind around 70 or 80 points of difference, but in the end, when you talk about not getting that Rayquaza, where Marcos was very well capable of that, 2 of the important Pokemons were back to the base for around 15 to 20 seconds. That was the time where it could have been bought. Dodrio, whereas it was only 4 Pokemons at the Legendary Pit for Team Marcos, that is where they lacked a Pokemon which could actually stand strong with the Unite move. once again with the replay, we see that Revenant already had a lead from the start and maintained it till the end to actually secure this victory.
I think Blizzard was the one who was super crucial. Just like we ended up seeing Snowy, right? Numerous times running in directions where they were not ready for. Blizzard was always using the fly and nobody even had the right read of where he was coming in from. And I think that's the major factor that Revenant got an advantage here. And then there is always Bacha, right? Electro balls coming through, and then there's going to be a big solar beam that he utilizes, and his opponents are just taken out. There's nothing that they could do. Revenant still, it is one game that they won in this best of 3. They need to win the second game if they want to become the top seed of the India region here in the Asia Champions League. It's not going to be that easy. Marcos are not going to give them a chance. Previously as well, when Revenant and Marcos went head to head, they won. It was Marcos. Yes, there was one round that Revenant got a chance, but this is what I was talking about. You can see here, after Snowy got KO'd, Murem used his firework. He I would say drained a lot of health of Revenant players, but then Zishal immediately went to power nap, and then Walk tried to survive, took down Glaceon. That was Crowley, but that's all. It did not go further from there. Mrudul, that was a good try that Marcos even tried to get themselves back into the game. They went head-on fights, but just imagine if the Rayquaza was not taken and if players were not KO'd from Marcos, 292 is where Marcos were able to reach. So I think they could have still won it out by edge, where they had that Dodrio, got that sneaky goal scored in, but that was not just enough. Let's hope Marcos have a better strategy defined where they can take down the players of Revenant, because right now it looks like, after all the love and hate stories that we have talked about Rayquaza, it looks like there is some love that Rayquaza is showing to the players of Revenant.
Yeah, indeed, and actually getting that Rayquaza, getting that lead where even if Marcos were too close, they could have still got that victory, but Rayquaza secured it for them. And when in the end there were two of the main Pokemons not available for Team Revenant, the Rayquaza strategy worked out for them. So again, even if you're less on numbers, you can still add a lot for your team, where we saw Marcos Gaming was this close to closing it out on a 2-0. Once again, it was already done. What has been done, and let's move forward and actually, take a look at the third game that is going to come. It's a 1-1 on the scoreline. Now it's 50-50. It's either going to be Revenant or it's either going to be Marcos at the first seed. Once again, confirming it, ladies and gentlemen, that who is going to be at the first seed, it is going to be there in the Malaysia land from the Indian region, and this is the Indian region finale.
When it was stage 1, Mrudul, there was nothing in stakes, right? It was just position that they had to worry about, and the battles that they won got them better seeding in the first stage. Coming to the second stage, it was just do or die. There was just elimination bracket that we ended up seeing in the playoffs. But right now, it's not elimination. It is not, I would say, qualification, but the main thing at stake is the first and the second position and the prize money that they get out of it. The first place team is going to be getting $5,000, then the second place team will be getting $2,500. I was about to say 2.5. I don't know what I was going on for that, but $2,500 is what they'll be getting. Which is that team, and which is going to be the top seed from India, and which is going to be the second seed, is also something that they'll be looking forward to. Based on that, there'll be a brackets that will be well defined, and we will be seeing them fighting out in the battle arena in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I'm super excited for it. Not too sure how that will go ahead, because as we did see, right, from the East Asia and South Asia week highlights as well, you saw matches went so close. The point difference was like 4 or 5 goals, and that's how one team got a chance to win. So that situations can happen a lot more as we go ahead in this tournament. Let's jump right in the draft phase. This is going to be the last one for the Indian region to decide who is going to be the first and the second seed. Maybe even call them as the champions of the Indian region in the Asia Champions League. What do you think the bans are going to be, Mrudul?
Well, definitely it is going to be an Urshifu ban, whereas in the previous game we did see that a Delphox ban can also be created for the opponent's side. Again, more 7 seconds remaining, quite excited for it. Whereas when you talked about the different teachers, yes, we know that a High 5, MY2, Renaissance and MYS are present there. But okay, here you go. Not even a Urshifu ban, not even any other ban of Delphox. It is going to be a Hoopa ban coming in from the side of Revenant, where Marcos goes in for a Mew ban.
Annoying was Badshah, so they had to find a workaround. Good
I'll
choice
pick
coming
up.
through. Revenant on the other end, new Marcos would love to pick up Hoopa if available, but look at Miriam having the chance to get the first pick, gets Urshifu. Now they know Secures might just be in their favor, but Swifty on the other end with Cliffable and Badshaw on Delphox. Marcos, they're coming in with a comfy of their own. Okay, what is this comfy meta that players are trying to push forward to? I'm not too sure how it's going to work out, because again I've talked about it that a player who is a level better as an all-rounder, if that comfy tags along with that player will be constantly being healed and finding 3, 4 and 5 KO streaks. Marcos, it looks like their strategy here is go all heavy hits. There's already a Urshifu, along with that they're bringing on a Scyther or a Scizor, whatever you call it, but they're going in with heavy hits.
Oh yeah, the heavy hits would be coming in, whereas Snowy goes in for a Machamp. Aha! The Mr. Mime might be coming in from the side of Zshol, because again Zshol we saw that he's sticking on to the Snorlax, whereas now that Rex has picked up on the Snorlax, he goes in for a Mammoth Swine.
That was not thought of. But Blizzard coming in on Buzzwole, and with Crowley back on Glaceon, I want to see how it works out. Swifty, they were able to isolate him, so Swifty needs to find a way to not be isolated. But I think it was just once or twice that Swifty was isolated and got KO'd. But majority of the times he was always playing around with his teammates. If Blizzard does not find value and does not level up very well, it's going to be Urshifu and Machamp taking it away. There's going to be Miriam as well as Snowy. We already saw Snowy on none other than the Dodrio, where he was already doing the heavy hits, finding KO streaks alone. But now with Machamp, he's a heavy hitter. He's going to come up with a cross chop, dynamic punch, one of these movesets, and making sure that when he's bashing those skulls that Revenant might not be ready for.
Well, we start with the third game of the matchup between Marcos Gaming and Revenant Esports. Snorlax and Wolf going as a pair, moving forward on the bottom lane, and whereas when you see on the top lane you have got the sweet little Machop with the Kyurem as the one and only new Pokemon Comfy coming into the play. Yes, again they do have a duel in front of them, and it's going to be a Buzzwole arriving, getting quite a lot of damage. Yes, Comfy needs to be back. Okay, here you go, adding to the Snowy. Let's see how as a solo it could create the difference. The very first score line added for the team by Marcos would be Snorlax.
Comfy trying to play solo is not going to be the case. They will try to wrap him around one of the heavy hitters, but for now it has not worked out. The little Machop has been KO'd. Revenant are getting advantage of it, but immediate turnaround. Mariam, he's already leveled up, ready to take out all the players. 50 is stuck in the flux. That's going to be another KO, 2 KO streak. And Kyurem right now will jump right and wraps around to make sure he gets a lot more goals, as well as gets the healing done. You can see Crowley is super low, tried to survive, get that Citrus Berry, does not get it. Now looking for to taking down Blizzard as well. Miriam is just functioning so good right now that there is no chance. Miriam thought he could maybe get KO'd, but he's just going in for KO streaks one after another, chasing them in their flux zone. Comfy was stuck, and I'm pretty sure Miriam was called back. Hey, take me with you. I'll be stuck in the flux zone and I might be just KO'd, so always take me with you. He takes down the Delphox. He might just go for another fight with Blizzard on that Buzzwole. Menacing Marcos on Urshifu.
Here you go, another point added for the team. It's going to be Marcos once again picking up the lead for themselves. 72 points on the scoreline, 30 points getting added by the Urshifu. And now that Urshifu was not banned, destruction would be there.
8.
With that combination, he's already at the level 8. And look at that, not stopping, getting KOs back to back.
God.
Marcos is here for a destruction, a KO streak of 2, and that too with a Comfy combination. Beware of it.
Snowy, he was going on a head-on fight with Blizzard. Both of them are level 7, but Snowy still needs to evolve. In the meantime, they're trying to chase this Urshifu. If Miriam survives the entire game, even without being knocked out once, I don't think Revenant will have a chance to win this out. Snowy, try to deny the wild Pokemons to Blizzard. And he's done. He's got 24 Eos energy with himself, whereas it's on the other end, Buzzwole has just 4. So the wild Pokemon fight did not work in their favor. Quick to take Regias. Marcos are like, let's not even give a chance. Oh, the last set, the Icicle Spear. Z-Shot steals it. I mean, all the valiant efforts that Marcos did, Revenant tried to steal. There's no way he would be unpunished, right, Mrudul?
Yeah, and again the punishments would pop in, and there you go, another steal coming in. Revenant actually would be having the help of Regis right now to tackle around Team Marcos Gaming, but look at that. The goalpost is open, easy points to be added for Revenant, and definitely would be using that a lot. Look at that, now they have taken up a lead. But look at that, 8 and 9 hits and a whoa! Whoa! That was brutal.
He is brutal, he's already on double digits, and it's 6 minutes of the game is still left. Unbelievable play coming through. Glaceon is down, Crowley could not do much, he was trying to fight with the Machamp. And he's already a champ now. Miriam has a chance to take away the wild Pokemon, which is the buffs. He's trying to steal away the purple buff. Bacha will already be denied. Miriam now going for the orange buff, which I think already the Buzzwole has taken. But they are actually chasing on the top lane. Machamp has called in the fight. Miriam has going in. That's going to be a surprise which they'll not be ready for. Volk is also looking forward to going to the top lane. But in the meantime, already a hit comes in. But with the superpower, he sends him a little bit further. Oh wait, that was a smackdown hit coming through. But nonetheless, players are still pushing up. The fireworks comes through, and the fireworks is the reason that they find one KO. Make it another KO as the Comfy is out. They shouldn't have over-aggressed like that without thinking through, and finally the Urshifu is KO'd. This is the chance here, Mridul, to turn things around, and Marcos might just lose their control. And you can see, Revenant, even though they were being KO'd, they had the goal advantage, 226.
Indeed, and looking at that, getting 2 Regis would actually make a lot of difference for the team of Revenant. Now that they've got the momentum, they've got the consistent amount of points being added for the team, and a huge lead maintained by the side of Revenant. Buzzwole has been the star of this move actually being made from the side of Revenant. Once again, on the bottom, this might be, Marcos going in for the initial damage. Can it be a steal? No, not this time. It would be Gardevoir taking in the Registeel for the team. Some special attack moves would be provided, some more and more advantage would be there, but Revenant is up here to once again open up a goal post and add more and more points for themselves. The Regieleki is yet to be acquired and gets acquired by the Glaceon.
Oh, Swifty gets caught in singularity, a KO. Their supporter is gone, and now they're going to chase the players. Again, a hit coming on Blizzard. They're trying to KO him. Unite being used from none other than the Machamp. Finds one on the Buzzwole, but immediate exchanges. The fireworks again being utilized. Mammoth Mash coming through to push back the players. Volk is still surviving. He's not KO'd. Z-Shot backs up in the meantime along with Volk using the Psy Shock. Crowley on the other end, understanding Regieleki has already taken control of the top lane. Goal zone destroys another goal zone. 296 to 167. Revenant not only are getting the fights under control, but are also destroying goal zone. Something that Marcos are not ideating or concentrating on.
Oh, look at that. Revenant 296, and a cheeky play coming in from Revenant Swifty. He knows that he has to hold that position at the bottom lane. Well, Revenant have already acquired it, and against Marcos, when you see 2 of their players going towards the top lane, oh, here you go, the Machamp actually goes in for that. Snorlax as a 19 for the team of Marcos Gaming.
He was no way winning against the Machamp, but right now this is going to be super crucial. I don't think there's a fireworks, but Bacha is trying to fight with the mystical fire he has, and it is the goal zone. Look at how well Revenant are defending the top goal zone. Only 1 Eos energy needs to be done, and they're not letting that happen. Back to back, it was Rex trying it out, and finally the goal zone will be destroyed with 6 Eos energy being done. On the clock, it's 57 seconds to go for the Rayquaza fight on the bottom lane. If you talk about it, for the next 10 seconds, it's going to be Marcos waiting for the Regieleki. But there is Mamoswine who's already spawned over there, making sure they don't easily get that Regieleki, and also called in their Delphox. Miriam on the other end, he needs to get to the bottom lane. Volk started the fight with the Regi, but Z-Shot is still waiting for the opportunity. He sees nothing happens. With 30 seconds to go, everybody is deciding to jump right to the legendary pit. Oh wait, actually they're deciding to take the Regieleki on top. In the meantime, it's just 2 players from Marcos who are taking the Regirock in their favor. If they take this, their special defense will be boosted. Blizzard is looking super low. The Buzzwole is out. 20 seconds to go now to take the Regieleki on top, as the Regirock has been defeated on the bottom.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to take. Less than 10 seconds to go. It's not going to be a gamble that they'll be wishing for. But Badsha, if he gets KO'd now, it's going to be bad. He tried his best. I think he even used his Unite, but it failed. Oh, wait, he didn't actually. His teammate actually helped him out. Buzzwall does not have the Unite. Machamp does not have the Unite. Rex gets KO'd. This fight is looking on, I'm not too sure which direction, but Crowley gets caught. That'll be a KO coming through. Blizzard trying to fight with Volk. Oh, Machamp goes out. And it is going to be Revenant who take it away. Concentrate on the Rayquaza. Ouch, that's got to hurt Marcos.
The first game was in their hands and 2 games coming back to back with it. Revenant have done what they couldn't have done if it would not have been a perfect lineup getting decided from their side. Buzzwall definitely adding a lot for the team, and when it was around the 7-minute mark, getting 2 Regis in their favor was the best that they added for themselves, maintaining around 80 to 90 point of difference throughout this game, and now touching the 400 mark. Revenant have done it even in the last 2 minutes. The last 1 minute remaining, but no, wait for it. It might be that they would be going in for the unit moves, but no, okay. It's only Machamp that gets KO'd from the side of Marcos. 4 of the Pokemons are still remaining. They can still add the amount of points that are needed to actually get back to this game. It's too late. It's only 40 seconds remaining. And Revenant is too strong to actually be getting beaten out. Rex barely on the verge of getting knocked out and being sent back to the base. The defense is right now too strong by the side of Revenant.
There's no way. Goals is not a big difference. 396 to 209. If they goal 100, there is going to be 309, and then they can find a way to get closer to 396. But with that Fireworks Unite that came through, there's nothing that they could do. Their Unites are here, but they are a little bit too late because there's just 5 seconds on the clock. There's no way they'll be getting 196 goals dunked in the next 2 seconds. And it's done. Revenant, a long journey from the first match, right? Mridul, they've played till this finals.
Yeah.
First match defeated God's Reign, then defeated True Rippers, then defeated none other than SHUL, and today defeated the top seed of the stage 1, Marcos.
All of their opponents from the start till the end. Revenant, the first stage was not good for us. Okay, but beware of us in the second stage. What a huge comeback. Not even in the India regional array. From the start of the stage number 2, Marcos was on our papers, maintaining a huge comeback that they have made in the second stage, and now they are the champions from the Indian regions. Also getting the first seed in the Malaysia Kuala Lumpur land. Also beating out Marcos, who were the very first seed and could have been the first seed.
Unfortunately, they did not work out in their favor. A good try coming in from Marcos, but the last fight, if people did not get KO'd and stuck, especially Blizzard finding the last KOs over there around the legendary pit, and his teammates directly concentrating on Rayquaza.
Yes.
There's also one stat I do want to kind of talk about is whichever team as of today has picked up Comfy has always lost. I think that's something that teams need to look forward to, that maybe Comfy is not the wisest of choices until you have a dead strat ready, right? A proper one written on rock that this is how it is going to go. If it is not the case, it is not going to work out. Zishal in the early stages stole it. I even said it. If Mariam for the entire game survives, this is Marcos's game. But I think twice he got KO'd, and the amount of experience and level that he had gained, he gave it away. When you defeat a Pokemon which is of a better level, you gain a lot more experience and get a chance to level up better, and that's what just happened. Revenant got that chance, and you can see from there on they got the Regis in their favor. They also concentrated on the crucial Regieleki rather than the bottom Regi. Even the singularity which was used, right, it just found 1 KO on Swifty. They should have found a lot more of value, but not the case for Marcos.
Even if I talk about the Regieleki between 2 and 4 minutes, and then getting that Regieleki between 4 and 6 minutes, both of them were at the crucial moments. One, they were below Team Marcos Gaming on that scoreline, and then getting above them and maintaining a huge lead. Look at them. Team Marcos, the points that they secured were from first minute to the 8th minute. No points secured in the last 2 minutes, whereas 100 was added after securing that Rayquaza. So the difference was still maintained. Marcos was still able to, give a close and battle to Team Revenant, but the Regilikis added the 96 points for the team. Not even 96, but actually added the 87 points for the team, which created the difference. Those 87 points of difference, when you see at the 8-minute mark, was because of the Regis getting secured around the 6th and 8th minute. And then consistent amount of performance throughout the game. Revenant did the thing that they would be doing.
Even in the timeline, you could see it was only 100 that Revenant could score after getting the Rayquaza.
Exactly.
If there was a scenario where Marcos, two players had two unites, right? They could have found a way through. You saw Fireworks, which was ready from Bacha. I'm going to put it down from the Delphox, my bad, not Bacha. Oh, it is Bacha. I've got a little bit confused. So, if that was not the case, there could have been an easy way that Marcos could have actually pushed up 296. They could have reached that 296 mark because they were already at 209. It was all about understanding what they have in terms of advantage and where the opposition was. But Murim played really well whenever he found the opportunities. But I think these are the fights that twice, right, trying to fight in the base, not the base, but the goal zone of Revenant is the reason that they lost. You know, whenever you're fighting in the goal zone of the opposition, they do get the blue shield for themselves, the blue advantage. And that's what Revenant took advantage of and started winning the battles. If that overextension was not done from Marcos, they could have won it all. But look at what Revenant were doing, understanding that maybe Marcos will be looking forward to KOing us. They're like, we'll go head-on fight with Rayquaza, try to take it away, and this time it was against Z-Shawl to steal it all away from them. Imagine, first Reggie was stolen away from Z-Shawl and the last legendary boss was stolen away from Z-Shawl. That man is insane, confirming those last hits for himself and confirming the victory for his team. That's the reason we end up seeing Revenant going to be on the top seed, not just kind of getting away with $5,000, but will also be called right now from my end as champions of the Indian region for the Asia Champions League, getting the first seed for themselves. Revenant Esports, what a game.
Yeah, definitely. And coming from this very time period where True Rippers were there, Revenant were there, Godsend were there, Marcos were so sure that they were already qualified from the first stage for, the Kuala Lumpur LAN in the Malaysia. But again, when you talk about Revenant and God's Reign, okay, it was going to be a huge end battle that they could have got. Marcos, SATUL and Revenant also fought along. And in the end, you have Team Revenant with Marcos going towards this LAN in the battle arena on 18th and 19th of March.
Malaysia is going to be tough. Not going to be easy for Marcos as well as Revenant. So now Marcos also need to understand that if Revenant have exponentially through the weeks I would say gotten better, the other teams will also get better, because it's not going to be next week itself, right? There's Revenant back on track and now trying to get back in the game. Not too sure how he's going to be working out, but Crowley is going to be super happy. Let's call him back to the desk and congratulate him and his entire team. Crowley, welcome back. Congratulations. You also become the champions of the India region of Asia Champions League. You snatched it away, and I think Comfy is not working for any team, whoever is picked up. And also one more thing to add it, Crowley. You have found a way to have a love story with Rayquaza recently.
Yeah. So I guess so after losing the first game, I read the chat. Someone is saying whoever picks Comfy loses. So shout out to that guy. For starters, so is how ACL format was like. You get more money if you play more games, right? So now I have a reason to lose in the first phase. That was my plan all along.
Oh, it was a pre-written strategy. Play the long game, throw them off guard. Man, Crowley, big brain move coming in as you play the games, man. You're just insane.
Correct. Yeah, and again talking about Again, also discussing that even if you have lost the very first game, we discussed about you having a hate story against the Rayquaza. How did actually, you cause that conversion of it becoming a love story with Rayquaza?
Honestly, it was not skill. 3 of my players went to the temple yesterday. So I think we have some god buff going on right now. my Snorlax
Yeah.
is getting zapped. My Soil is getting zapped. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's the temple buff.
The Pokemons that you don't think of snatching it away is getting it, but Crowley, I want last wise words coming in because right now you'll be heading to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. What are your thoughts? You will be facing off different regions for a big title representing India on the global stage.
I mean, for now, I don't think Indians are good enough to perform versus those teams. So we have like a month to prepare for those games,
Yeah.
and hopefully we can play better than last time. You know?
We'll be looking forward to it, Crowley. The way you have performed over the weeks is giving us that hope, and we'll be wishing you and the entire team all the best. Congratulations once again, getting the top seed for the India region. See you soon, Crowley.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Bye
sir.
bye.
All the best. You see, right? He's also acknowledging like Comfy is not working after that Snorlax and Mamoswine, the Pokemons that you don't think of getting the last hits or the secures on the legendary
Correct.
Pokemons is doing it. So something is working for them. Is that the game? And now, if you want to get an idea of what has happened throughout the tournament and what more you can expect, there's a link in the bottom of the screen. Do check it out to get more idea about the entire tournament and its format and what's unfolding.
Well, yes, exactly. The Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia land is after 1 month. The players will be practicing and, polishing themselves for each and everything. Lucifer, some last words where we'll be going towards the Malaysia land.
I'm super excited. We'll be looking out for it. But until then, it's going to be me, Lucifer, and Mridul taking a leave. Wait for the intense action on land. Take care.